I'm Michelle Orr. Obviously, you're on my Facebook page, and I am going to talk about the recent trip that I did in Mexico. And then I'm going to talk about an upcoming trip that I have in Egypt. And then I also want to talk about the, sorry, and then I wanted to talk about other countries that you can visit right now. And then if there's time, we'll have a Q&A at the end. I don't want to make this too long. So let's talk Mexico first. I went to Mexico at the end of September, early October. I was there for 10 days and actually 11 because there was a tropical storm that caused me to stay there an extra day. Um, so I was there to visit hotels, and the reason why I picked Mexico is because they're doing great with their COVID, especially for tourists. They make it very easy for Americans to come, and I thought this is a great opportunity for my clients and friends who want to travel right now. There's really no better place to go if you want somewhere warm for the holidays than to go to Mexico. So that's why I chose it. Now, if you followed my social media, you saw all the beautiful hotels that I was in. I'm going to feature a couple of those here tonight. And yes, it was wonderful, but I saw 14 hotels in like 10 days. So it was a lot of work. And I can't wait to share with you what I learned. Then I'm going to talk about Egypt. I'm going to Egypt in November. I'll be there for 10 days. I'm really looking forward to that. They are also accepting Americans. And then I'm going to talk about other countries that are accepting Americans for travel. So let's get started. Let's talk about Mexico. So why would you want to go to Mexico? Right now, their COVID protocols are as such. There's no COVID test necessary and there's no quarantine on arrival. This means that basically it's just like it was before COVID. You just fly there. You won't have a COVID test that you have to present, and you will not have to quarantine in your hotel when you get there. So this is a great thing. Um, Obviously, I will always recommend travel insurance in case you get sick or if you get sick before your trip and you need to cancel. Um, Right now, the hotels are allowed to run at 60% capacity. This is a great thing because it means that there's a lot of space, there's a lot of room at the pool, a lot of room at the beach, a lot of room at the dining. Restaurants are allowed to run at 50% capacity. This might go up to 75%, but that's not, I'm sorry, the hotels might be able to run at 75%, but I don't think that's going to happen. And that hasn't been announced or anything like that. So good to know when you decide to travel to Mexico. Cancun was the first destination to be granted the Safe Travel Certificate by the World Travel and Tourism Council. That's huge. They're doing an amazing job. And I think that if the rest of the world could kind of marry what they're doing, you know, there would be a lot more travel. Um, the hotels have over 260 COVID safety protocols, which are strictly adhered to. The entire country, as of September, and I hope this is correct, had slightly over 6,000 cases as of September. And when you get to the hotels, you'll have very limited interaction as far as the resorts go. They're using QR codes for travelers to download all the information that you might need during your stay. So, you know how normally when you go into a hotel and there's like a booklet and it might have the menu for your room service and activities, or there might be a little newspaper with activities that are going on. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. It'll either be on your TV or you scan a QR code because they don't want to have to clean menus and books and worry about any kind of surfaces being contaminated. And also, anytime you go into a restaurant, you'll just scan a QR code and that will bring up a menu. So it's kind of nice that way. I now want to just talk about my own personal experiences traveling to Mexico. First of all, the airport, I flew from Newark, and I always recommend that you take the earliest flight out for several reasons. First, you will have a lower chance of getting delayed, and secondly, because of COVID, the airport will definitely be less crowded if you leave on the first flight out. So if you don't mind getting up early, it's a good motivation. Now, when you get to the airport, I know you've all probably seen photos of airports back in June and July, and they were like ghost towns. Well, guess what? They're not anymore. People are traveling. So I recommend that you just find your own little space in the airport as you're waiting for your flight. If you don't want to wait in the area, at the gate, you can sit at the gate across the hallway or sit at the gate next door. It's very easy to do, and it's very easy to find your own space. People are staying socially distant, and they are expected to wear masks. Now, I'd say about like 10% of the people that I saw in the airport, some of them didn't have the mask on properly, or they didn't have the mask on at all, but those people were mostly sitting and eating. So it seems it's being adhered to. When you board the plane, you will not be allowed to go even on the causeway until you have your mask on. And then you will be expected to wear your mask the entire flight. So you need to be comfortable with that. Some airlines are doing much better than others. Some are leaving the middle seat open. Some are only filling every other row. And then there are others that are unapologetically filling their planes. I did want to share with you a video. Oh gosh, I forgot to pull it up. Right now, and this is going to talk a little, it's a 1-minute video, and it's going to talk a little bit about let's see, do I have it? Oh, all right, well, I don't have it right now. I did, but I don't now. Gosh, that's annoying. Wait, is this it? Let's see. Yes, this is it. Okay, I'm going to put this on the screen. This is just a quick video of oh, it's not letting me. Okay, anyway, if you go onto my page, my Facebook page, you will see a video of CNBC did a great story on the state of airlines right now, and they talked all about why it is safe right now to fly. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you can hear this. I'm going to turn the volume way up, and I'm going to play this really quick. Trista, can you tell me if you can hear it?
Here's why. On a plane, the air you breathe is actually a combination of fresh and filtered air that flows through the vents in the ceiling and the floor. Half of it is passed to the outside, while the other half goes through HEPA, or high-efficiency particulate air filters, which remove more than 99% of viruses and bacteria. This filtered air is combined with new outside air before making its way back into the cabin.
Great.
So you have an exchange of new air every 2 to 4 minutes. These are the same filters they use in hospitals.
Made even more effective by wearing a mask, a requirement of every major U.S. airline, but not federal law.
Okay, so as you heard, let's just get rid of that. Air on the planes is circulated, it goes through filters, you get fresh air. So I would love to dispel this myth as much as possible. The air on the airplanes is not safe, because it is. Okay, so that's the airlines. You know, whatever travel advisor that you want to use, hopefully it's me, will walk you through the airlines and who's doing what. And I always try to recommend the better airlines. That being said, I have flown United twice. They are filling their planes. I have to tell you the good and bad, the ugly. Going down to Mexico, I was seated next to a stranger. They moved my companion away from me. That was a little annoying to me. However, so that I wasn't the most comfortable with, but other than that, everything was great. Okay, once we got to the airport, we were temperature screened when we arrived at the airport. We were temperature screened when we went through customs. And then we got our transfer. Now, again, it's also important that you work with a good travel advisor, because they will know the good transfer companies that are handling the COVID very well. Our driver sprayed our luggage. You could tell that the car had just been disinfected. When we got in the car, there was hand sanitizer and wipes, and the driver was wearing a mask. And the company that we use, they screen their drivers constantly for COVID. So we felt very comfortable. It was really a nice experience. Once you arrive at the hotel, you should expect that your temperature will be taken before you even get to the property. A lot of the areas of Mexico have their private neighborhoods, and they're gated. And you'll be, you know, temperature screened outside, and also when you get in. Before you enter the hotel, you will have to stand on a disinfecting pad, and that is just to disinfect your shoes. Some of the hotels disinfected our phones, they disinfected our passports. Um, we had to wear masks when we arrived at the airport, and you are sort of expected to wear a mask at the hotels, like as you're moving through. But once you're at the beach or you're seated, you do not have to wear your mask. The staff, however, are expected to wear their mask 24/7, and they did. I did not once see in the 14 hotels that I visited a single employee without a mask. So that was great. Okay, so those are the hotels. You also have like hand sanitizer everywhere. When you get to your room, they most of the hotels that I saw seal the room so that you know that it was disinfected and you're the first person to walk in. If you do not want contact with the cleaning people every day, you can request that they don't come every day to clean your room. I chose to do that because my special thing when I travel is I love a good turn down service. So I did have people come in, but that was fine too if you don't want people to come in. As far as dining goes, the really nice thing about going to this area, it's warm and most of the dining is outdoors. Also, they have less tables in the restaurants. The tables are far apart. So there was one hotel where we went, there was sort of like an omelet station. There was a border between me and the chef, and other people who were waiting for omelets were within a very safe distance away from me, at least 6 feet. So again, I felt very comfortable. Um, Hygiene managers. So most of the hotels that I visited have hired or brought over someone from another department within their hotel, a hygiene manager. The role of this person is literally to make sure that the 260 protocols in Mexico that are expected are being adhered to. So, and if there's an issue, they will take care of it right away. But again, we found no issues. So hygiene managers, that's also a new thing. Okay, next. Here is a list of the hotels that I visited while I was in Mexico. I am just going to read them real quick. There was Nizuc Spa and Resort. That's a Virtuosa property. LeBlanc Atelier. They're four in Mayacoba, which is a private area in Riviera Maya. Very special area. It was probably my favorite. Fairmont, Rosewood, Andaz, and Banyan Tree. A great all-inclusive resort called Unico. Palmaya House of Aya. That is a very special new resort. It's actually a vegan resort. Everything about it is vegan. If you're not a vegan and you're traveling with a vegan, you can definitely have your protein, your animal proteins. You just tell them at the restaurant, they'll put whatever you want on your meal. We went to the Viceroy Riviera Maya, the Essencia, Chable Moroma, and Grand Velas Riviera Maya. I just want to say a couple of things. The ones that are listed here, most of these are Virtuoso. The ones that aren't, I'm also partnered with. So you get like great amenities if you travel, if you book your travel with me. So I'm going to just highlight like my top, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 favorite resorts that I visited. The first one is Nizuc's Resort and Spa. This resort is 10 minutes from the airport, which is a really great convenience. It is a Virtuoso property, so if you book through us, you get an upgrade on arrival, daily breakfast for 2, one-way airport transfer, a hydrotherapy session for 2, which is worth about, I don't know, $90 per person, welcome amenity suite, and early check-in and late checkout. The high season prices start at $443 per night. That would be for a smaller garden view room. Every photo that you see here are photos that I took with my own camera. The photo at the top was my room. Beautiful room. It had ocean view. It had a plunge pool. Most of the rooms here have plunge pools. The second photo you see is one of the 2 beaches. Another great thing about Nizuc is that it's on its own point. It actually was the presidential home at one point, so it's very, very private and off by its own. You won't get any vendors on the beach here. There's no seaweed problem because it's on a point. So as you can see, the beach is quite beautiful. And then that bottom picture that you see is just part of the lobby, which is also quite beautiful. This resort was incredible. The service was amazing. The people who worked there are great. The food was incredible. And you know, you can also do some celebrity sighting if you're into that. I saw Joe Walsh from the Eagles while I was there. I also saw Kim Clijsters, she was a great tennis player, if you know. So someone's asking me, is that amount per person? No, that is amount for the room for 2-person occupancy. So no, it's $443 plus tax and fees. Now again, that's for a smaller garden room. Like I wouldn't really recommend that room. I might like try to get you to go higher than that just because you want to enjoy the view. But that is where it starts. Okay. LeBlanc Spa and Resort. Wow. This was a wow. Now, this is not a Virtuoso resort, although I think it might be within the next year. We do have a partnership with this company, and I can get you some room upgrades and also round trip transfers to and from the airport. Okay, the high season prices for this start at $670 per night for 2 people. And again, this is all inclusive. This is so crazy. I can't even tell you. Like there's 5 restaurants. They are 5-star restaurants. The food was incredible. Okay, so pictured here is the lobby. And then there are 3 or 4 pools at this resort. What's so amazing about that is that you're going to have your own space because at 60% capacity and 4 pools, there are a lot of places to sit. It's very large. This is the one hotel that I'm recommending that is on the Cancun hotel strip, let's just call it. So this is the area where there are a lot of hotels, but you're just going to be at this one. And it was amazing. You can see a picture here of gelato. There was gelato right at the pool. Again, all you can eat all day long, whatever you want, premium alcohol, all inclusive, and it's adults. So sorry if you have little kids, but for me, I'm past that stage, so I really appreciated that there were no screaming kids. Also on the beach, you can stay socially distant. You can rent a cabana. They have cabanas that are sponsored by Moet and Chandon, which was awesome. And also the hydrotherapy that's in the spa is included. Again, that's like a $90 value. The spa here is truly amazing. Also, they will get you priority greens fees at a local golf course. I can't say enough good things about this. One of my favorite parts about this hotel was the welcome drink, which was really refreshing and delicious. And it was like some coconut-based thing. It was amazing. Also, there is like a gourmet chocolate shop. Again, this is all inclusive. They have these beautifully hand-painted truffles with great flavors like mango habanero, like really true to Mexico. They had macarons. You could get gourmet coffee, hot chocolate, anything you want. Again, all inclusive. Loved, loved, loved this resort so much. The prices again start at $675 per night for 2 people, including the food and alcohol. No strings attached here. Okay. The next one, Banyan Tree Mayakoba. And this one has a video, which I'm just going to play. This was my room, the video that you're watching while I'm talking. This was my room. What I love about this hotel is that every single room is a villa, your own villa. See that pool? That's not a plunge pool. That's like a full-size pool. You get that pool in your villa. All the villas have them. There were 2 huge day beds that you could sit out. One was in the shade, one wasn't. I mean, it's incredible. It's like jaw-dropping, okay? This is a Virtuoso hotel, so you get Virtuoso amenities, which would include upgrade on arrival, subject to availability, daily breakfast for 2, resort credits ranging from $100 to $200 per stay, preferential green fees at the golf course, which is a PGA championship course, early in and late checkout. Early check-in, late checkout. Again, all of that is subject to availability. And the high season prices here start at $579 per night. Like, I'm not kidding. I was going to stay here for my birthday over Thanksgiving. We had to cancel because my kids can't quarantine when they get back. But we were going to do a 3-bedroom overlooking the golf course with my mom. And it was for a week. Okay, it was going to be about $8,000. So I'm telling you, the price here is unbelievable for what you get because this is 5-star. I don't know if you guys know Banyan Tree. It's an Asian-inspired brand from Asia. Amazing hotel. Okay, so I'm still walking through the room. I just want to also explain that Mayakoba is a private area in Riviera Maya. It's gated and very safe. You go through a security gate. You will not get through there if your name is not on a list of, you know, people staying there, or that if you have a reservation. There are 4 resorts in this area: the Rosewood, the Fairmont, the Andaz, and the Banyan Tree. There's 26 restaurants between the 4 hotels. And what's really cool is that if you're staying at Banyan Tree and you want to go to dinner at Rosewood, you can charge that to your room. You can have ride bicycles. And also in Mayakoba, you have the mangroves. So there's these canals. You can take a boat ride. You will have to take a golf course to your to the beach in some circumstances, depending on where your room is. And there are also bicycles for riding. It's a great area for riding bicycles, and there's a cenote there. So Mayakoba has everything. I can't recommend it enough. It's just amazing, and I loved the banyan tree. Okay, you're still looking at my like ridiculous closet there. Also, like there was this, they will draw you a bath at night. I think I'm about to show you the bathtub there. Well, okay, there was quick, but they put flowers in it. There was champagne. I mean, it was unbelievable. Candles. They drew this bath for me. That was also included with my stay. Okay, now let's talk about Unico. This is a fairly new resort. It is owned by the people that run the Hard Rock resorts, and also they run the Nobu resorts. And this is a new brand of theirs. It's an adult all-inclusive. This is 18 and older. I'm going to play this little video too. Just this is some fancy like alcohol, coffee that we had for dessert. When I say all-inclusive, what sets this hotel apart is that it's truly all-inclusive, including your golf and the spa. If you can get to 10 spa appointments, they're yours, they're included. It's unbelievable, okay? So you would pay like a 25% service fee for the spa service, for example. So like a $300 massage, you're paying like $70 for it. It's unbelievable. And the green teas are also included. There are 4 incredible restaurants at this hotel. All of the decor is modern Mexico. Everything is sourced from Mexico locally. It's amazing. There are 3 pools, and one of them, which you can see at the top here, I visited at night, so it is a little bit hard to see. But the photo here is of what they call the quiet pool, which, because I'm old and ornery, I like the quiet pool. There's no music, there's no parties, and you can walk right to the beach from that quiet pool. 80% of the rooms here face the ocean. Also included are all the classes that they offer. So mixology, cooking, floating yoga, aqua spinning, and more. All included, like no strings, people. I'm telling you, it's included. The food was amazing. This was by far one of my favorite hotels, and you're not even going to believe this. The high season prices here start at $395 per night for 2 people, all inclusive. Top shelf liquor. Like, I'm telling you, get there. It's so good. I don't even know why they're so inexpensive. It's 5-star all the way, and like they're giving away the farm. So take advantage of that. It was an incredible resort. Okay, so that is my spiel on Mexico. Again, if you're just joining me, I see some people have just popped in. You can, this will be posted later, and you can go and you can hear all about the COVID and my experience on the flights, etc. But this, I really strongly recommend Mexico. Okay, I think I've said that 100 times now. Okay, as you know, travel is in my blood. I have this little square here. It says no trip phobia, which is the fear of not having any trip booked. I suffer from no trip phobia, and I cannot be apologetic about it. This is why I'm so passionate about my job. I love travel. So I am once again packing my bags, and I am headed to Egypt in about 10 days. I am going to be traveling there with a small pod of travel advisors, and I am being hosted by one of my favorite companies. They're called Big Five. They're an adventure travel company. I use them all the time for my clients in Africa, Morocco, Egypt, Asia, Central America, South America. They do it all, and they are like literally white glove, top of the line, like the best. Okay, one of the things I really love about Big Five is they don't just hire out like third-party tour guides. They hire their own, and they pay them well so that they're loyal to the company, and they've been with them for many years. They have their own cars. Like, also, what's really cool if you're into being eco-friendly is that they are going to be single plastic free starting next year, which I think is huge. Okay, so if you want to go to Egypt right now, Americans can go to Egypt, and I cannot say this enough. There is not a better time to go to Egypt. In fact, I was talking today with somebody in Egypt who saw my first live Facebook cast, and he was telling me there's nobody there. What does this mean? When I go to the Great Pyramid, I'm literally going to have it to myself. When I see the Sphinx, when I go to the Valley of the Kings, literally nobody there. There's no cruise ships. There's no river cruising. There's nothing. Okay. When I say there's nothing, I mean, there's something, right? The hotels are there, they're open, they're ready, they're waiting for you. That hasn't changed. But what has changed are the crowds. If you can get to Egypt and you've always wanted to go, I cannot think of a better time to go. Okay. So if you want to go to Egypt, you have to show a negative PCR test within 72 or 96 hours of your departure. So depending on where you're departing from, for example, I am departing from the United States, but I am connecting through Amsterdam. So my time clock, because I am connecting, so my flight is taking me longer, will start 96 hours from the time I depart Amsterdam. If you're flying direct from the United States, then it is a 72-hour negative PCR test. It has to be printed. Travelers must obtain a travel visa, which you can get on arrival in the airport. But of course, if you work with me, we will take care of all of this for you. No travel headaches. Okay. Good to know when you're deciding to travel here. September to April is the best time to go from a climate standpoint. It is a Muslim country, so you don't want to be going during Ramadan or other high holidays. You will want to travel with a certified Egyptologist. And like I just told you, great time to travel now because fewer tourists. This is actually true everywhere you go, but like, hi, it's Egypt. Okay. Who doesn't want to go to Egypt? I mean, I guess there are some people who don't, but I know I do. It's a dream come true for me. There's going to be no tourists. If you want to go to Egypt, give me a call because this is the time to go. Okay. One of the things that my friends say to me or that I hear a lot is, you can go to Egypt. Are you sure it's safe? So this is what I'm going to tell you. Right now, this is the ever-changing part of the question. There were tumultuous days. There were sporadic attacks, sometimes still occur, but there is danger everywhere you travel. I mean, you can be in New York City and that can go wrong too. So you should keep up to date with political news and the government's advice on travel before you leave. Therefore, no one can say that Egypt is 100% safe at any time, but it's safer than what the media will have you believe. Also, like, this is, and I don't mean to be rude, but here's just like my general thing is travel smart. Just don't do like, don't get drunk and walk around in the middle of the night. Okay. Like, don't do things like that. Not a good idea. Tourist safety and tourist site security are well managed and executed by the Egypt Tourism and Antiquities Police. This means that everything from the entrances to ancient sites and hotels, as well as landmarks within city center limits, have security machines and guards in place. Also, you can expect roadside checkpoints, vehicle checks, and the tourism police are operating a well-oiled machine to ensure everyone can get around the country with ease. I say this because, and also like Mexico, their income relies on tourism. It really, really does. And they want to make sure that you feel comfortable traveling there. So they're doing everything in their power to make that comfortable for you. Egypt, since 2011, has had a stable government. They have great relations with the United States, Israel, and the surrounding Arab countries. So overall, this is a great time to visit Egypt. If you're ever going to do it, again, I can't stress it enough, do it now. Okay. Where are some other places we can travel? Caribbean islands, Antigua, Jamaica, Barbados, St. Bart's, St. Lucia, Turks and Caicos, St. Martin, and Puerto Rico. Now, I will say the COVID rules vary from country to country, so depending on where you go, I would work with you to educate you on these requirements. Some people don't like to go to Mexico. They think it's not safe. I can tell you that I have been to Mexico several times. I have never felt unsafe ever in that country. And I say this because right now, the Caribbean islands, some of them will have a policy one day and then some will have policy another day. And I don't want you to be disappointed on your vacation. Some of the islands are doing a better job of this than others. Again, I would navigate you through that. Like I say, yes, go to Turks and Caicos. That won't be a problem. But like I know people who had Grand Cayman booked for the holidays and they have decided not to open, and that's a great disappointment. So if you want a guarantee to get to the Caribbean, you go to Mexico. Some of these other islands, they're doing a good job of it. You just have to understand the rules, okay? Maldives, you can also go to Maldives. They require a 96-hour PCR test, obviously negative, from the time you depart. Now, when you go to the Maldives, typically you will travel through Dubai. It's a long flight. My clients will tend to stay in Dubai for 2 or 3 nights. And the good news is that Dubai is also welcoming Americans. It is I think it's the only Emirates that is doing that. So Maldives, 96-hour PCR test. Every hotel there is its own island. So once you're there, like they invented social distance before we had social distancing, okay? Africa, we already talked about Egypt, and then you have East Africa, okay? Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, great time to go. A colleague of mine was just there, and like literally she had the safari to herself. So I was there in November before COVID. When there's a black rhino, oh my God, everybody goes, well, there's a black rhino, and all the cars will drive to go see the black rhino. This doesn't really take away from the experience for me at all. You're still seeing the black rhino and the animals in the wild, but there are going to be other tourists there. Right now, you're going to have the savannah to yourself. Can't think of a better time to go to Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda. Get there. Okay. Then we have Nicaragua and Panama also accepting Americans. In Nicaragua, I work with a great hotel called Morgan's Rock. It's an eco-tourist hotel. You basically think like you're staying in a 5-star barefoot luxury treehouse, and it has the 4th wall open to the air. You have air conditioning and mosquito nets and all that, so it's not a problem. This hotel is so incredible. Like the royal family often vacations there. It's on a 400-acre preserve, a nature preserve. There's animals, there's wildlife, there's great classes for kids, there's cooking, beautiful beach. Can't recommend it enough. Nicaragua. And if for those of you who still want to get to Europe, Croatia, Albania, and Montenegro are open. Again, great time to go to Croatia. Why do I say this? Guess what? There's no cruise ships right now. You're not going to have 2,000 people getting off a ship and flooding the cities. Okay, you're going to have city to yourself. So Croatia, a lot of people want to, go there in the summer, and yes, it's beautiful in the summer, but it is very, very crowded. Shoulder season in winter is a great time to come, especially if you're into like history and food. You can tour this entire country right now, no crowds. And also they're doing a great job with COVID. Montenegro is right next to Croatia, so why not tag that on as well? That is my spiel about the great places to travel right now. Again, did Mexico, incredible experience. I felt like a normal human being for 5 minutes. Can't tell you how great that was. And going to Egypt soon. I will be asking you, please follow my social media, follow my trip to Egypt. I'll be giving information when I get back from that, but I can tell you right now, it's going to be fabulous. Now, I'm checking to see if there are any questions. No, I had one question about the pricing that I talked about in Mexico, but again, work with a travel advisor. Even if you don't want to work with me, just work with one, because it is not fun navigating the COVID rules right now. And we know the hotels that are doing a good job. We know the airlines that are doing a good job. We know the transfer companies. Like, we are here to help you. And that is my passion. I'm not in this, just to book trips. I'm here because I love travel. I love sharing my love for travel. And there is nothing that makes me happier than a client with a great experience and making you guys happy. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me on Facebook Live. And I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I'm going to try and do these like once a week. I don't know if it's better at daytime or nighttime, so throw me a comment. And I thank you again. Okay, now I got to figure out how to turn this off. Let's see, Facebook.